going down the drain.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening.
Why should you want to know? Don't you mind about the future?
And now, live, unedited, unrehearsed, and unapologetic, brought to you by Imperial Fire Alarm and Security, securing your world. Straight off the ledge, it's JD and Smitty!
This is the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty on 96 K-Rock. Phone lines are open, 277 or 775-9600. Catch us streaming live video on theledgeradioshow.com or check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/The Ledge Radio Show. What's up, Smitty?
Hey, everybody. We'd like to give a shout-out to all of our sponsors, first and foremost. We have a new one, Cruise One, and they're hooked up with Norwegian Cruise Lines. Kathy Bakeman, she's on our website.
That's Bachman.
Bachman? Yeah, Bachman. I'm sorry, Kathy. You know I love you. Square D Construction, Imperial Fire Alarm, securing your world, and a special shout-out to Travis at Guitar Center. He's been helping us out a lot.
Yeah, that's sweet. This morning we've got a special guest in studio. There's a big race heating up in Collier County for the sheriff's spot, and this morning we are proud to present Victor Ortino in studio. Vic, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Let's give him the official.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
Well, Vic, you've got an interesting bio. You were in the Air Force. Did all kinds of stuff in the Air Force. I mean, all kinds of different training, spec ops stuff, all kinds of different stuff.
7th degree belt,
black belt,
Kempo. It's going to take both of us take him down, babe. You know what I'm saying?
We'll have to get sick Rick.
Rick, sit on him, boy. It'll be over. Once Rick gets on, you're done.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, Vic.
Well, like you said, I am a veteran. I served our country as a military law enforcement officer. When I got out of the service, then I became a Florida State Trooper here in Collier County, and that's what brought me down here. And I've been down in Collier County ever since 1982.
Okay. Now, I noticed that about you with the state trooper. Now, you were only with them about 3 years. What was the reason for the short tenure with the troopers?
Well,
the fact that they didn't pay anything?
Well, that was one of the things.
Just remember you're under oath, okay?
That's true. Back in 1984, they had a little disagreement where they claimed that we were misappropriating witness fee money, and that was the whole county of state troopers. And I was one of 13 people. Well, we fought it. We fought the allegations. We won. We were fully reinstated with full back pay, benefits, everything, and our record sealed. And during that absence, that's when I started the investigative business.
Oh, so you were basically out of work or away from the department at the time. You had to have something to pay the bills.
Correct.
Were you a union member at the time?
Yes, I was. I was part of the PBA, and the PBA paid for it, and
they won.
And we won.
Is that the Professional Bowling Association?
No, that's
PBA.
not.
That's something else. Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Pabst Blue Ribbon Association. That's PBR.
That's PBR.
Well, so you started your investigative service, and I noticed that it's now the largest one in Collier County.
Correct.
Okay. What kind of stuff do you guys do with that?
Well, we up to a couple years ago when I ran last time, I had a process service company part of it, and they still are part of our organization, but there's somebody else that supervises that, and we have at one time we had about 15 or 10 process servers.
Okay.
And then I handle the investigative side of it, and so we do anything from civil, criminal, and any type of corporate investigations, background checks, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, I noticed also you're a lifetime Republican.
Correct.
Which means I assume that you support the Second Amendment. You're all for gun rights?
Totally.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's a good start. I noticed, too, that you were the Rotarian Rookie of the Year in 2007. How did someone get that spot? Were you like the only new guy that year, so you won?
Sounds like a hazing going on or something,
Actually, there were like 2 or 3 of us.
Okay.
But it depends on who donated most of the time and contributed to the organization. And Rotary is a great organization.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Smitty, this is something that you may be aware of. Well, you probably can appreciate this. You were also a member of ABATE.
Still am. I'm a lifetime member.
Yeah, that's awesome. ABATE now, I remember years ago we had an ABATE rally at my aunt's house out in Buckingham, and there was like 500 bikers out there. And, it was a rough crowd, though, back in the old days. I mean, how are these guys these days? You know, what do they stand for, basically?
Basically, it's a motorcycle rights organization, and they stand for, motorcycle rights and things that are affiliated to that.
Mostly the no helmet law.
That's a big issue.
It's a big issue.
It is a big issue. But
I remember they had to check their guns at the door, man.
Nice.
All of them, man. They all had guns. They had to put them in the little safe, you know.
And your helmets.
Well, that is something, though. I mean, with the helmet law, now the no helmet law, it kind of goes to similar with seatbelts for the driver. Me personally, I figure if you're not wearing a seatbelt, it's kind of like not wearing a helmet, and vice versa. You're not hurting anybody else when you get in a wreck, but yourself. And to me, I don't think the government should mandate that how I'm going to take care of myself. If they're not going to put seatbelts on motorcycles,
well, they need a special seatbelt for you, man.
I understand,
well,
but
I totally agree with that. And
I do wear a seatbelt, and I'm all for it. But I think that when you look at the two different laws, why not make them wear helmets, but why make us wear seatbelts?
Well, my philosophy on that, and again, I don't write the laws, but I don't believe in laws that don't affect other people.
Sure.
And that big issue is they're saying that the insurance rates go up, and it causes people to have, causes innocent people to be paying other people's medical bills. Right. So there's a way to get around that. You just make the insurance company say, okay, if you're not wearing your seatbelt, then you won't be covered. You're not going to be covered, or something of that nature. As a trooper, I saw the benefits of wearing a seatbelt.
Sure, absolutely.
And I wear a seatbelt. I'll be honest with you. I don't always wear a motorcycle helmet. And it's just, I believe it's your
personal
right.
choice.
It's a personal choice. And I think the seatbelt should be the same thing, but it's the law.
But not for kids in the car.
No, definitely not for kids.
Talk to him about some of the more controversial stuff that he's been bringing
we'll get
up.
into that. I was going to say,
I'm going to go right for it, man. I'm not messing around with this guy.
With the motorcycle helmets, though, just to stay on that subject, you've seen accidents as a trooper with people with a helmet, and maybe not back then without a helmet, but I mean, when you're on a bike and your body gets split in two, the helmet didn't really help a whole lot.
Not necessarily.
Not in that case.
And I've been in a bike wreck before.
So have I.
Yeah, it's pretty devastating. Well, Victor, I know you've got you're running for Collier County Sheriff. You're running against Kevin Ramboskin. I know that there's a couple other guys in the race too.
No, there's not. There's only myself and Kevin.
Oh,
there's another individual that's running in the general election.
Okay, I got you.
This is going to be in the Republican primary, and this is between Kevin and myself.
Two-horse race, huh?
Correct, sir.
All right. Well, how's it shaping up for you, do you think?
I think it's going very well, and I greatly appreciate shows like yours that actually wants to come out and print the truth or talk about the truth.
We want to give the opportunity to everybody out there, because a lot of people don't have a voice, and they hear a lot of stuff, and it gets railroaded down their throat, and they don't never get a chance to really speak their mind. And that's what this is about.
Yeah.
This isn't about us or anybody. It's out there. If you got something you want to say, you want to call up, feel free to give us a call, man.
Yeah, 277 or 775-9600 if you've got any questions for us or Vic. Vic, I'll get right into it. There's a lot of information on one of your it's your website.
Correct.
Documentation that's been circulating out there, and some of it's a couple years old, but it's obviously totally relevant today, especially when you're running for office. One of the big things I noticed, there's an allegation for some campaign finance law infractions against the current sheriff. And why don't you explain that specifically? We've got the one where our taxpayer dollars was used for a specific event, and the captain at the time was reimbursed by the sheriff's department, which would be taxpayer money.
Right. That was a smaller one of the two of the major issue. Basically, he spent and used conservatively $250,000 of our taxpayer money funding his last campaign. Gets caught at it.
Something wrong with that?
I think there's a lot wrong with it. I think it's and this is the catch. You're running for sheriff. You're running for the highest ethical position in Collier County, and this has everything to do with character and what the person's about. And he's never had to answer to this to anybody. He made one statement to FDLE and said, I didn't know that they were doing this. Well, that tells me two things. Either he's totally incompetent or he's a liar. One of the two.
Wow.
There's no other explanation to me.
Why would nobody else look into it? I mean, if it's so egregious.
FDLE did look into it, and this is what really shocks me too. FDLE investigated this thing for about a year and a half. They did not even arrest Bridget O'Malley. Bridget O'Malley was the one that they caught hundreds of pages of graphics on her computer. They had sworn testimony stating that she worked full-time on his campaign for 6 months, okay? And another person. She never gets charged with it. She gets off with she gets to resign. He writes her in the same pen stroke a letter of recommendation.
For a new job.
For a new job.
Sweet. That's what you're going to do when you fire me.
I mean, that's how a lot of politics seem to go, doesn't it?
And it does. And you know what? This is where it's coming up to the election, and for people to make a decision to say, hey, are we going to put up with this or we're not? And
where do you stand out differently than Kevin, when it comes to running the sheriff's department? And what do you think gives you the background to run a department of the size of Collier County?
Okay, first of all, when you get in, and this was asked of the last election, when you get into an organization that large, you're talking about chain of command. You're talking about, one person does not manage the 1,100 employees that it has. It manages about 5 to 6 people, maybe 10. Okay.
All right.
And you get into that. So you're going to deal with a chain of command. My military experience, my NCO training as a military, when I worked in law enforcement in the service, that basic training, and plus being in business. I've been in business. I know there's checks and balances. You can't spend more money than what you make. When you have to make cutbacks, you make cutbacks.
Yeah, because really, in these times with these larger sheriff's departments, at least down here, your biggest job, I mean, you're like the CFO. I mean, you're controlling the budget. You got to make budget decisions and payroll decisions and all that.
I'm going to just give you a quick comparison, and I'm going to have to pat Sheriff Mike Scott on the back. Right. Collier County's population is half of Lee County's. Collier County's budget is $131 million. Okay, Lee County's budget is $140 million. Collier County's command staff is 33% larger than Mike Scott's Lee County command staff. Okay,
that is interesting.
You take just those basic, studies,
right.
And it's shocking.
Well, it's got to be tough to please everybody. I mean, when you're in that position and times are tough and people are cutting, and you're going to tell people that, we got to cut here, we got to cut here, we got to keep the officers, the rank and file, we got to keep the unions happy too. You got to keep everybody happy.
It comes down to this: you keep good officers. We have so many good officers in Collier County. Mm-hmm. You have a handful of rogue officers in Collier County.
I know they're good. I just got pulled over this week, so it's very nice gentleman, by the way.
But you do. You have just a handful of deputies that are tarnishing the entire agency's image. You have one deputy has 19 internal affairs complaints. He can't even testify in court right now, is from what I'm told.
But he's still a deputy?
He's still a deputy. He's still making cases. We went out and we were getting these petitions. And by the way, we qualified by petition.
You didn't want to name his name, did you?
No, I don't want to. But
I figured I'd at least throw it in the hat. Try it.
It was in the newspaper.
It was in the newspaper.
It was in the newspaper, and his first name's Johnny.
Okay.
And you can go with that.
Okay. That narrows it down.
Johnny sent me.
All right, so you got these petitions.
So anyway, we did these petitions in less than 4 weeks, 28 days. Dave Carpenter from the Supervisor of Elections says, you're never going to do this. We've never had this done before, and we did it. Okay, so we got this done. During those collection of those petitions, we found out so much information. And this guy, this one Johnny the planner, they nickname him.
Johnny.
His name came out at least 50 to 100 times. People came up to me and said, you have to get rid of this guy.
Why can't they get rid of him? What's the deal?
You tell me. I don't know. If someone can't testify in court and their word's not worth anything, why keep them? Let's go into that. Why keep these people? When I was running for sheriff last time, I couldn't talk about this, but I get a client that came in and her child, 3 boys, get arrested for felony robbery. Okay?
That doesn't sound good.
Felony robbery. They didn't even do the crime. Okay, they had the sheriff's office had legitimate reason to arrest him, but the following day, the acting undersheriff's son tells his father that he did the crime, and it wasn't these boys. They let these 3 boys sit through the whole judicial process until the state attorney drops all charges on these individuals. Okay. That cost that family $30,000, okay?
And they were
they were innocent. Then, and in all behalf, I had one person go to me and they say, well, Vic, and this was a senior official from the sheriff's office. He goes, Vic, that really happened under Hunter's regime. And it might have, right at the tail end of Rambos. But Rambos knew about this. And then he lets this deputy, the acting undersheriff, stay on the department after he takes office. That's where it's wrong. And you're dealing with character, people. You're dealing with the character of the sheriff.
Sounds like you need a complaint box at the door. People just drop
The red
like a
phone.
restaurant.
The Walmart
That's
red
right,
phone.
the secret red phone. Pick it up.
I have testified in just about in front, or I have worked for just about every judge in Collier County, okay, throughout my 27 years in Collier County. If I lie one time, if I don't tell the truth one time,
Your nose will grow. Your nose
and
will
I
grow.
don't have a business.
Yeah,
and that's one thing I teach. I teach the process course, and I teach the private investigative course at Lorenzo Walker Institute of Technology in Collier County. And we stress ethics. We say, you're going to make mistakes. Deputies are going to make mistakes.
Sure you are.
You deal with it, but you have to communicate with the public. It's just like the stuff that's happening up there with the one guy up in Sanford. It's law enforcement's not talking to people. We had a similar incident that happened in Collier County with a deputy that shot somebody. I haven't heard Sheriff Rambos get on that phone, get on TV, and talk about that incident.
What about the deputy? There was something I remember about in the news, and I think the deputy's no longer working there. But there were a couple people linked to him that disappeared.
There were 2 people that died years ago, and again, this was under Hunter's regime, and they haven't found the bodies, and they haven't found the people, and they haven't proved a case against the person. And I don't know much about that other than that.
Now, you mentioned Sanford. Is that the Zimmerman case?
Yeah, the Zimmerman case.
Yeah.
There is something new about that.
Yeah, he's going back to jail,
Yeah.
and apparently he didn't disclose that he made $200,000 on his webpage for his defense.
Well, that news came out a while back, and I remember them saying that the judge may see that as saying, well, it doesn't. Now he's not financially strapped, so we're going to increase his bail. I mean, that
Can
to
he
me,
just send in a letter say, "Hey, I'm sorry, I missed it" or something?
I don't understand what the money's got to do with the bail amount. Is that how the judges set bail? Is based on your economic availability? I mean,
No,
your budget.
It's not supposed to be set up that way.
That's the way it sounds, though.
Sounds like it's that way, but I guess it's more political than we dig down.
It might be. I mean, has anybody have you had to deal with anything like that before? In your investigative career?
We work with people, and when they get bonded out, then we end up talking to them, or we go to the jail and talk to them there.
Okay. Okay. What do you think about this case? I mean, you may be privy to more information than we are.
No, I'm not, and that's the catch. I don't know the particular details, and that's what I think is causing a lot of the turmoil here. Is they're not communicating to the public, and it's just like the Collier County case with when one deputy shoots somebody outside of his house. I mean, from what I hear about all the details, I mean, it was probably a very good, legitimate shooting, and the sheriff's not telling the public this. So, and I live on that street, by the way. So I'm driving up the road right after it happened, and you see all these squad cars out there and all these patrol cars, and no one talks to anybody about anything. So here you are living in that area, and
it just gets swept under the rug. I mean,
what's the answer? Total disclosure of everything?
No,
what's
not
the answer?
total. You can't do total, but you can talk to people. And in this particular incident, the mother gets on the TV and she says, "Hey, why didn't the deputy shoot him in the leg? Why didn't he taser him?"
Yeah, we've heard that argument here.
But the catch is, if Rambos would have gotten on the phone or on TV and explained, one, as a law enforcement officer, you're trained to shoot for center mass. If somebody's trying to break in your house and you're not on duty and you're not carrying your taser on your belt, you're grabbing your gun. Okay, these are just common things. I'd grab my gun.
I would too.
And if somebody's threatening me, I'm going to shoot him. I commend the guy for only shooting him one time. There was a case in Collier County that happened years ago. They unloaded their magazines on the guy, and
they had to reload.
Yeah.
Well, in all defense of Sheriff Rambos, you're running against him. If he wants to come in to dispute any of this, absolutely, the offer's there. We extend it, and we welcome you.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty, and we've got Victor Ortino in the studio this morning. You got any? If you want to call in, the phone numbers are 277 or 775-9600. Vic, we're going to keep you for a few more minutes before we go to break. If you got anything else that you think will sell yourself to the public,
now's your time.
Now's your time, man.
Well, there's several differences between Kevin and myself. One of the most recent ones is the consolidation plan. He was all in favor of consolidating the fire departments, EMS, all under one roof, under his control.
You mean the sheriff would be in control of fire and EMS?
Just like in Broward County. And it's
He
just
needs more to do. That's what it is.
I'm totally against that, and I think it's a very bad idea. Now, I'm not against it. If the fire departments want to consolidate themselves, I think that's a great idea. But for one person to have that much control over all those people.
Now, if one person gets control of all the different departments, does that mean he also gets their pay as well?
Well,
or does that? No, you just get to pay
No,
the
you don't
same.
get
We
to
just
pay.
give you a lot more to do.
Yeah, see,
man.
I didn't realize that Broward had one guy in charge or one girl in charge of police and fire.
Correct.
I thought it was just the police and just all of Broward Fire.
it's the sheriff. It's
Wow.
under the sheriff's control.
That's,
and when you
what
had
does the sheriff know about fighting fires?
I don't know anything about fighting
We all know
fires.
throw water on it, man. What's the problem?
That's right.
Jeez.
Wet stuff on the red stuff. There you go. What else do you need to know?
That's true.
Well, what else? Where else are you different?
Well, budget. I'll be able to cut the budget, save us taxpayers' monies. I'll put more deputies on the road.
Now you can cut the budget and put more deputies on the road.
Yes, and just by thinning out the command staff, you have to thin the command staff.
Boy, those guys aren't going to be happy
So you think
with
you're top heavy over there right now?
Oh, we're totally top.
Well, he
heavy.
said they were 30%
Yeah.
more top
Higher.
heavy than Lee
and that's
County.
common on a lot of places. A lot of people are top heavy on there.
And that gets that way because you have certain people that are in office and you get to know people, and next thing you know, you're promoting and you're promoting and you're promoting.
And 10 years ago, they graduated and they're all sitting high and all.
The sad part about this, it should be when you're a deputy, if all you want to be is a road deputy, you should be able to make enough money being a road deputy through tenure that you could just, if that's all you want to be, you don't have to go up through the chain. So, that structure needs to be reevaluated.
Well, Vic, where can people go to find more about you and to maybe donate to your campaign? Do you have a website?
Yes, I do. It's VictorOrtino.com.
VictorOrtino.com. That's easy to remember.
And if people are tired of what's going on in Collier County, I'll take donations. You can do it online. We need to raise money to get the word out, and we need to tell people, and we need to vote on August 14th.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll get the sheriff in here because I'm sure he's going to want to defend himself. I'm
sure I would.
Anybody would, but we'll get him in here, and if you want to call in while he's here, our guest.
I just suggest you go real slow down 41. Okay,
Yes.
when you leave here.
No kidding.
Just a heads up. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Folks, we're going to go to break. When we get back, Smitty and I'll get into it. Victor, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Bubba the Love Sponge mornings. Zito and Garrett middays. Stan and Haney afternoons. Lex and Terry nights. 96 K-Rock and 96krock.com. Talk that rocks.
Honey, I've got a surprise for you.
Really?
We're going on a cruise. I called Cruise One in the Cape and spoke to Katie Bachman. She hooked us up. We're going first class on the Norwegian Pearl for a 7-night Caribbean cruise getaway.
Man, I'll be relaxing on the deck and sipping on those umbrella drinks.
That's okay for you, honey, but I'll be getting lean and fit. This cruise offers more than 20 hours of personal training fun with Joe Pearson. I'll be learning about nutrition and exercise, and all from a certified personal trainer. It's the best of both worlds. When you cruise Norwegian style, you do more than just eat and drink. You can get in shape and have the time of your life.
This is an exclusive offer for June only. Norwegian Pearl in our Seafit group package for friends and family. So call me and get the skinny details. I'll explain all package and special offers. Life is too short. So get away and enjoy it. Go in style. Norwegian style.
Call Katie at Cruise One on 239-677-3005. That's 239-677-3005. Or visit our website at kbachman.cruiseone.com.
Securing your family, your business, your property. That's what's important in your world. No matter how big, no matter how small. Secure your world with Imperial Fire Alarm and Security today.
Imperial Fire Alarm and Security is a local company with hometown service, the way it should be. One call to Imperial will align you with the most effective fire alarm security and surveillance systems, as well as state-of-the-art wireless monitoring. If you're a property manager or condo association member, ask about Imperial's wireless monitoring systems to replace costly and unreliable phone lines and save your community thousands. From individual homes to large communities, Imperial Fire Alarm and Security can secure your world.
Don't you think it's time to secure your world? Imperial Fire Alarm and Security services Lee, Charlotte, and Collier counties. Learn more at imperialfiresecurity.com or to schedule your free consultation, call 239-288-6482. Secure your world at imperialfiresecurity.com.
License number EF2000046.
When it comes to finding a reliable general contractor, you need to pick someone with a solid background and a good reputation. D-Squared Construction gives you all that and more. They are family owned and operated and stand behind every project. Quality workmanship and satisfaction to the customer has made them one of the premier contractors in Southwest Florida since 2004. Small residential renovations to large commercial projects, they do it all, and they do it all well. Your projects are much too important to trust just anyone. D Squared Construction will come to your house or commercial project and give you a free on-site estimate. Call Cav & Dwyer at 239-561-4108. That's 239-561-4108 for a free consultation and some good sound advice. They won't waste your time or your money. D Squared Construction, when it needs to get done right.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening.
Why should you want to know? Don't you mind about the future?
Welcome back to the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty on 96 K-Rock. The phone numbers are 277 or 775-9600. You can check out our live stream at theledgeradioshow.com. You can also find us at facebook.com/The Ledge Radio Show. Smitty, I know you got something about Scott Walker.
No, I was just talking about it. The election's coming up in Tuesday. You're much more involved with Scott Walker than me. I actually support the unions more than you do.
I know you do.
For many reasons. Like that gentleman that just was on our show, he said he had to fight that battle, and I'm sure it cost him a lot of money, but he won in court. Had he been an individual and had no backing by the local unions, he would have never been able to fight that, and he would have been thrown under the bus, and that would have been the end of it.
Well, I think that the union serves certain purposes like that, but at the same time, I think one of the downsides to many unions are that they do promote a lazy atmosphere. It promotes,
in your opinion,
it promotes workers that aren't good at what they're doing to just stay in that position.
That is absolutely wrong. That's absolutely wrong.
Well, I tell you what,
you were never in a union. You don't know nothing about it. So you tell people that union people are lazy. That's bull crap.
I'll say this.
You know, in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, that they had the most union here, and it was like 36%, and that's when everybody did really well. The economy was doing well. We had health insurance. We had life insurance. We had 3 weeks vacation. We had money in the bank. The economy was going strong. The unions were strong. And now because somebody had to mess with it, the greedy people, they got rid of the unions, and look where we're at now.
How'd it work out for Jimmy Hoffa?
Not so good.
Well, here's the deal. When it comes to that, man, unions back then, it was a different animal. And today, and that's what Governor Scott Walker was faced up in Wisconsin with his budget deficit. You know, all he was asking was for the employees of the unions of the state to contribute a little bit to their health insurance and a little bit to their retirement. And they were contributing.
That was just
6%.
a cloak and dagger. He said that, but he really wants to just eliminate bargaining. He wants to eliminate bargaining.
He was able to get rid of some of the collective bargaining for the public employee unions.
That's as un-American as you can possibly be, to tell somebody that you just can't hire the union to represent you. That's just not American.
That's not what he says. He doesn't say you can't hire him. Well, all he did was he made it to where the donated unions wasn't mandatory.
Why is he so fearful of them? Because they're going to bring cheap labor in, like they will. They'll bring cheap labor in, and then all the big businesses up there will be the beneficiaries of it. Because the average guy, the average rate up there, whatever it is, it's all driven by union wages. If a union are paying so much, the non-union has to pay just under that. They drive the rate. That's a fact. And if you have no unions up there, you must work in Guatemala.
Is that how it works out?
That's how it works out.
Well, here's how it worked out for Ford and GM and Dodge and all the big three. Their union labor drove the price of vehicles up so high and took the cost of payroll up so high that the car companies went bankrupt.
Yeah, back in 1970 and 80. Yeah, that's
why they had to go through the bailout.
You're reading too much of the paper. You're reading some garbage. You got to stay off that right-wing blog crap.
The bottom line is, and I've seen it even in the fire department. You know, in the local fire department. You know, you got guys on one side or guys on the other side of the union. And I know they like the support of the union when it comes to if they get in trouble. They got
justice.
They
like the support of them when it's justice.
They like somebody else.
Just say it.
Justice. No, you know what it is? They can't get fired. They can't get fired.
Yes, they can.
There's guys that are working there that they can't do any wrong because the union supports them.
That's not true.
I mean, unless they get into paper for stealing something, then they won't get fired.
Well, first of all, every union is different, and you talk about the firefighters, you talk about the police, you can talk about the IBEW, electricians local, you can talk about all the different kinds. They're all different. Truckers. So when you say unions, everybody thinks like they're all the same. When you have the Teamsters, the AFL-CIO, you got the IBEW, you've got all these different factions that are unions, and they're all different.
Well,
but you only read the bad stuff in the paper. You never hear anything good about them.
What's the good stuff?
Health insurance they give to their employees.
At the cost of the company. At the cost of losing the company, they give them all this ridiculous
It's
Cadillac
part of the
health
package.
plan.
It's part of the
called
package.
a Cadillac plan.
Yeah. What happened?
Then the company
Is
can't
something wrong
afford
with-
it.
Is something wrong with giving somebody health insurance?
No, but if you
suddenly?
do and it kills the
Oh,
company,
but
what are you
okay-
going to
It's
do?
okay to not to give them, though. That's what it is.
No one will have a job left when the company goes bankrupt because the unions gave them this Cadillac health care
They
plan.
won't have a job left because you're getting rid of unions. You're bringing in all this little cheap labor that won't be able to do nothing but give you nothing.
Well, I see it
Cheap
differently than you
labor
do.
is-
It's not. You know what?
People at the
there's
top
plenty, there's
reaping
plenty
in the
of private
profits.
companies that don't have unions and they pay great wages.
And you know why? Because they know they don't want to be messed with the unions. Like IBM. IBM's not union.
Neither is Google.
That's right. And you know what they're doing? You know what? They take care of their employees. If
They
you look,
do.
If you look right now, what do? They give them health insurance. Starbucks gives them health insurance. They give them good wages.
You mean they're able to do that
can-
without a union?
Yeah.
How can they afford it?
They're not greedy. That's how they're doing it.
So it's greed that made unions
sure,
come
that
in.
No, it's a greed that made the guy at the
Oh,
top
the
who
small-
owns
the small
the top heavy CEOs, when there's 20 and 30, 40 of them at the top, and they're all taking millions of dollars and getting bailouts. When all those bailouts went out, who got them? The blue collar guy didn't get them, but all the CEOs got them.
So the small electrical company in town that just happens to be unionized, they're going to treat their employees way better than the private electrical companies?
Absolutely.
Oh, just no matter what, that's what's going to happen.
Generally speaking, yes.
If that was the case, then everybody would quit the private company and go to work
No,
for the
because
union
it's a
company.
right to work state. That's why it's not happening down here.
Thank God it is. Thank God it is. So we don't have to put up with that crap.
Yeah, look around. You see
Freaking
what you see
communist
what
crap.
you see what you get, have you, Nazi?
I'll tell you, where's my scissors? Right over here. Well, I'll tell you what. I got something else for you.
Bring it on.
We're gonna switch gears here for a second.
Thank God.
This is the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty on 96 K Rock. If you got anything to call in about, give us a call at 277 or 775-9600. No Nazis calling in though. We got something about it was in the news this week. New York City Mayor Michael Doomberg, as I like to call him. I think Rush Limbaugh calls him Doomberg instead of Bloomberg.
That's a cute name.
He has now decided that he wants to ban any sugary drink like a soda, like a Big Gulp, from streetcars, from restaurants.
I see you're taking this personal.
I am, because you know I want a Big Gulp, man.
Man, you are a big gulping kind of guy, too.
Well, now it doesn't affect like bottled drinks yet.
Yes.
But if you go to a restaurant or say with a street, one of the streetcars where they sell the hot dogs out on the street, and you want a big drink with it because you
Yes.
bought 3 or 4 chili dogs,
Yeah.
you want something to wash it down with. Well, now you can't. Now you got to buy. It's got to be 16 ounces or under.
Dang, dog, what you trying to say, man?
You know I like hot dogs and I like a big drink.
I know you do.
Well, anyway,
Don't just get 2 drinks. That's everybody says that you get 2 drinks. But what do you do with 2
Why-
straws?
but why-
What do you do with 2 straws? I get confused.
Why would you make a stupid law like that when you can buy 2 drinks?
I've said it before. The intention of a good idea or a good intention sometimes goes awry. And this is one of those things where I understand what they're trying to do.
But you know what
they're
you
trying to say to people, hey, you don't need to suck up so much sugar. You're going to be a diabetic 3 in a couple weeks.
A diabetic 3?
I guess maybe 4. But
3 or 4, whatever it takes.
But you're going downhill and health is going down, and we're just trying to help you
So
along.
the government's going to mandate that you can't buy a big
They're
drink.
looking out for you, man. They're looking out for you. Let's take a call.
It's all about, they're all trying to help people get healthy and all. But, the bottom line is, if you can get 2 drinks, why stop people from having a big drink? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
All
Take
right,
a call.
Caller, you're on the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty. Caller, are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just want to tell you guys you're wonderful on the radio. I've been listening to you for a couple of weeks now. I'm moving to Lehigh, and you've given me lots and lots of wonderful information about the area. And I just wanted to ask JD about the unions you were just talking about.
Sure.
I have a couple of family members that actually work for the union.
Yeah, Smitty used to also.
I personally would much rather see my son build a high-rise and walk through it once it's completed than those lazy guys that you were just talking about.
Than the lazy
safety
guys?
level is so much higher. And I would rather pay a little bit more
Quality
to get
work,
that
she's saying.
construction done correctly.
Well, and I mean, if the idea is that only unions can do proper construction, that's a little skewed. I mean, there's plenty of non-union companies that build high-rises down here every day, and not in this economy, but that have in the past. They were non-union. They built beautiful $100 million high-rises. They're in great shape. I mean, that's all of our construction down here is non-union. There's a very, very slim.
You can tell. Just go down the road.
Very few amount that are union. I don't even know of any construction. I knew of a couple electric companies, and that was it. I know, like Florida Power and Light.
The Red Sox Stadium was built with union.
Yeah, my son has offers here all the time.
Okay.
What union is he in?
He's actually in local 397 over in Tampa.
Okay.
Is that what type of trade is it?
That's a steel worker.
He works for steelworkers, steelworker unions.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the call, caller, and we're glad to have you in the area, and we're glad you're listening to the show. And obviously, when you listen to this show, you're going to get a little bit of the left and a little bit of the right. You're going to get one opinion, and then
you're going to get the
right
voice of
opinion.
common sense over here. You're going to get the voice of reason over here. Okay. You don't have to listen to his right.
All right,
thank you so much.
Thanks
caller.
a lot. Have a great day. All right, Sick Rick, I got something. I want to cue up some audio here. Go ahead with cut one. Let's listen to it. This is Bloomberg.
That we regulate, which are restaurants and movie theaters and carts. They can still sell 32 ounces of a sugar drink to you, but they'd have to put it in 2 containers. And the idea here is you tend to eat all the food in the container in front of you. If it's a bigger container, you'll eat more. If somebody put a smaller glass or plate or bowl in front of you, you would eat less.
Oh, see, and the basic premise behind that is that Americans don't have the ability to think for themselves.
We're like a dog. You put the food in front, they'll eat till they'll throw up, is what you're saying.
That's what he's saying.
I tend to agree with him.
But what he's saying is that Americans don't have the ability to think for themselves, so the government has to step in and do it for them.
It's common knowledge that we overconsume.
Sure we do, but that's your choice.
Ridiculous.
That's your choice.
Okay, so if it's my choice to just walk in front of a car, that's okay, or throw eggs or bomb people, that's okay.
I mean,
it's my choice.
Do you think it's
my
okay?
choice. I just choose to be a real jerk.
You can
and do
choose to be
wrong.
an idiot if you want, and you prove it every day.
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
Oh, that was nice.
But now, do you think the government is forcing
must
this on
be.
us?
I work for you.
Are they forcing this on us, or is this our choice?
I think it's a little both. Like I said, I think it's a
you
good
think
idea.
They're forcing a choice on us?
No,
that's how a little bit
because
of both.
that's just that particular law with the drink is really a joke. But I understand what
Well, you know
they're
why
trying
it's a
to do.
joke? Yesterday was National Donut Day.
Nice.
And this governor, or the mayor Bloomberg, he's in front of this 1 foot round donut to celebrate Donut Day when he's taking away soft drinks from the rest of the people.
That's why I saw all those police officers around a donut tray.
I'm sure you did. Well, I've got one more bit of audio about this, and this is going to explain.
I hope it does.
This is going to explain the thinking behind this mayor.
Can't wait
Go ahead,
to hear
Rick.
16 ounces is the maximum that they would be able to serve in 1 cup. If you want to order 2 cups at the same time, that's fine. It's your choice. We're not taking away anybody's right to do things. We're simply forcing you to understand that you have to make the conscious decision to go from 1 cup to another cup.
That's all. He's not forcing you. Heard
No,
him.
you missed
He
the
said
whole
he's
premise.
not forcing you. You can get another if you really,
Did
really
you not hear
want
the
one.
second line? We're forcing you to make the choice. So that's liberal speak for we're taking away your right for your big gulp.
What he's saying is put a seatbelt on your mouth, and that's what he's trying.
Well,
to say.
here's how I say here's how you fix that. If you don't like
Put a
that,
hole in the cup?
No, if you know what's nice about it, it's not a federal law, and it's not even a city law yet. But if it becomes a city law, and you just feel so adamant about having your big gulp, move out of New York City like most people do.
I think they've
lost 3.5 million people over 10 years. One probably because they're being taxed out of their minds, and then for idiotic laws like this. This is what they're worried about is a big gulp in New York City instead of actually bringing jobs
there. There are bigger issues to worry about than a big gulp.
Well, not when you're a Democratic lawmaker.
Oh my gosh.
That's what it is. Well, is it time for break already?
I'm just.
We got one more quick thing.
277-9600 or 775-9600. If you want to support the big gulp movement, give us a call.
Well, you know what? Every day I see you've got this huge McDonald's tea. That right there
It's
is
not
an
a
illegal
McDonald's
tea.
It's a cup. I actually make my green tea. You know I'm a big green tea.
I know you
chai
are.
tea kind of guy, man.
You're so gay.
I'm healthy. I'm healthy.
All right, check this out. Okay, so remember last week we talked a little bit about the lobbyist at the White House, right?
That's what we did.
All right, so I got something else on that. Obama was totally against lobbyists. They're not going to,
Is this going to be another Obama bashing show with you?
Hey, man, when you're talking about liberal versus Republican, it's got to be.
All you do is bash the president.
That's because I hope that this is.
He's your
only
president,
got 5 months
too.
left.
And if he doesn't,
He's
what
not my
happens?
president.
And if he doesn't, then what happens?
Then the country's going to go down in flames.
Oh, I can't wait to have you in
it's
here.
It's going down.
Oh, I can't wait.
Like the Titanic, it's going down.
Okay.
All right, so check this out. So he's against all corporations running the government, right? He's gonna take the government back for the middle class. Well, a new report just came out that the drug makers, Big Pharmacy, vowed to campaign for health laws as long as they got a little kickback in return. You know what they got in return for it?
I'm sure you're going to tell us.
So they contributed $80 billion in advertising campaigns to promote the Obamacare law.
Okay.
But you know what Obama did to give something back to them?
I'm sure. What?
he blocked measures that would allow cheaper drugs to come to this country from other places.
That's been going on forever, man.
He blocked it in return for $80 billion in advertising for his health care law. So the American people could have gotten cheaper drugs, which would bring health care down, bring health care costs down. But he blocked it.
But if you get your
because he was able to get his bill passed.
Because if you get your cheaper drugs from Indonesia or China, they're not FDA approved, and it's worse. They're just trying to look out for you.
How many FDA drugs have you seen that they were approved, and all of a sudden they cause cancer?
I don't know.
A ton of them.
Really?
Every week you get something else on TV. This drug was, now it causes this. Look at all the side effects for all the FDA-approved drugs.
You can't just have people shipping drugs in here and just, going crazy.
It's not that they're going to ship them here and they have no regulation. Our FDA guys have to inspect them.
Why don't we go halfway? We'll get drugs from Canada, okay?
That's fine with me.
Because I know people that actually...
there was a big push to get those.
There was a big push to drugs from Canada. I would go to Canada. They're not killing people up there
Well,
with
the bottom
drugs.
line is, again, so Obama...
you bashed him.
Obama had to... He had to bribe senators to approve the bill. Now he's got big pharmacy. He had to bribe them to get them to approve it too.
It's just politics as usual, man.
All right, we're going to go to break. When we get back, we'll get into some more rhetoric of Smitty's, I'm sure.
96 K-Rock supports Southwest Florida's bikers with the Biker Map.
Hey, this is Chris with the Biker Map. Be sure to look for the spring edition of the Biker Map.
The Biker Map lists and directs you to biker-friendly bars, restaurants, bike shops, and more.
The Biker Map.
Grab a copy by stopping by K-Rock Broadcasts and always at the K-Rock Studios in Estero.
I just want to say thank you to Southwest Florida and all the advertisers for supporting all the motorcycle riders out there. The Biker Map. Be sure to make the most of your ride. The Biker Map from 96 K-Rock and 96krock.com.
Honey, I've got a surprise for you.
Really?
We're going on a cruise. I called Cruise One in the Cape and spoke to Katie Bachman. She hooked us up. We're going first class on the Norwegian Pearl for a 7-night Caribbean cruise getaway.
Man, I'll be relaxing on the deck and sipping on those umbrella drinks.
That's okay for you, honey, but I'll be getting lean and fit. This cruise offers more than 20 hours of personal training fun with Joe Pearson. I'll be learning about nutrition and exercise, and all from a certified personal trainer. It's the best of both worlds. When you cruise Norwegian style, you do more than just eat and drink. You can get in shape and have the time of your life.
This is an exclusive offer for June only. Norwegian Pearl in our Seafit group package for friends and family. So call me and get the skinny details. I'll explain all package and special offers. Life is too short. So get away and enjoy it. Go in style. Norwegian style.
Call Katie at Cruise One on 239-677-3005. That's 239-677-3005. Or visit our website at kbachman.cruiseone.com.
Securing your family, your business, your property. That's what's important in your world. No matter how big, no matter how small, secure your world with Imperial Fire Alarm and Security today.
Imperial Fire Alarm and Security is a local company with hometown service, the way it should be. One call to Imperial will align you with the most effective fire alarm security and surveillance systems, as well as state-of-the-art wireless monitoring. If you're a property manager or condo association member, ask about Imperial's wireless monitoring systems to replace costly and unreliable phone lines and save your community thousands. From individual homes to large communities, Imperial Fire Alarm and Security can secure your world.
Don't you think it's time to secure your world? Imperial Fire Alarm and Security services Lee, Charlotte, and Collier counties. Learn more at imperialfiresecurity.com or to schedule your free consultation, call 239-288-6482. Secure your world at imperialfiresecurity.com.
License number EF2000046.
When it comes to finding a reliable general contractor, you need to pick someone with a solid background and a good reputation. D-Squared Construction gives you all that and more. They are family owned and operated and stand behind every project. Quality workmanship and satisfaction to the customer has made them one of the premier contractors in Southwest Florida since 2004. Small residential renovations to large commercial projects, they do it all. And they do it all well. Your projects are much too important to trust just anyone. D-Squared Construction will come to your house or commercial project and give you a free on-site estimate. Call Cav and Dwyer at 239-561-4108. That's 239-561-4108 for a free consultation and some good sound advice. They won't waste your time or your money. D-Squared Construction. when it needs to get done right.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening.
Why should you want to know? Don't you mind about the future?
Welcome back to the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty on 96 K Rock. The phone numbers are 277 or 775-9600. You can check out our live stream at theledgeradioshow.com. You can also find us at facebook.com/The Ledge Radio Show.
I tell you what, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the subject of the zombie apocalypse that seems to be attacking us in Miami. If anybody's been living under a rock, they haven't heard what's going on over there. And if you've seen the pictures of the guy that actually got his face eaten by another man, and the guy, of course, was homeless, and the man that ate him was, I guess, not homeless, just hungry. And
man, it was freaking disgusting.
Wow,
God, it looked like something out of a horror movie.
I'm telling you,
the whole, all the skin gone from his hairline down to the top of his mustache, nose gone.
Somebody's gonna
one
make
eye left in there.
Somebody's going to make a Halloween mask out of that. You watch.
Well, it looks like it was from a Halloween mask. I mean, it was, and this was from something called bath salts.
Yeah.
In all your years of drugs back in the old days, Smitty, do you ever remember doing anything with bath
Me?
salts?
Why are you making me?
I know you were a psychedelic kid.
Yeah,
man.
I'm a psychedelic
Playing in a
guy.
band for 30 years. I know you've done it all.
I did nothing. I was an angel, and I did nothing at all. But in my days, it was just a lot of beer and whiskey, and you know, that's pretty much what it was.
No face eating?
No face eating at all. He needed a big gulp to chase it down. Is what he needed.
God. Well, you know what's really frightening?
Couldn't get a big gulp. Had a fat mouthful of meat and couldn't chase it down with a big gulp. Couldn't get a small
mouthful
one.
of nose and ears.
It was disgusting. He had one eyeball left in that
I know.
picture. Go on the website. It is absolutely horrid.
You just got to Google it up, man.
Bath salts. What in the Lord is that?
I thought it was
Bath
something
salts?
you bathed with.
Sheesh.
But apparently it's the new. They're calling it the new LSD.
Really?
So it must be some serious. Now, if you know that that's going to be one of the
These
side
kids
effects,
need more to do. I'm telling you.
If that's one of the side effects, why would you ever even try it? But then again, people are stupid. I mean, we've known about crack for years.
I
and people
heard
still
about
do crack.
something the other day where the kids are actually defecating and urinating in a big liter bottle. They put a balloon at the top. They shake the bottle up. The gases go into the balloon. They pull the balloon off and then inhale this.
Well, you just told all the kids how to breathe poopy,
Well, if
poopy
they're
air.
that idiotic, then they deserve what they get.
What does it do for them?
We don't want government regulated, though, do we?
All right, we've got a caller on the line. Caller, you're on the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty. What you got for us?
I just want to ask them if they know who wrote the policy for the health care program that Obama passed.
Well, I think that there were a couple different folks that wrote it, a couple groups from what I remember. It sounds like you might know something as well.
Yeah, well, Mitt Romney wrote it.
Well,
that was his platform for running for president, was that exact policy.
Yeah, I agree.
Obama asked to use it, and he said, go right. The Republicans hate it.
Yeah.
That's the typical Republican, you know. They're all for it until it costs them a lot of money. Then all of a sudden they're not for it. You know, they're for government spending until it's not going in their pockets. And once they decide where this money goes, and they go, yeah, well, we'll vote for that. That's typical.
Well, you know, Romney was not my first choice. I would have preferred a different candidate that did not promote the health care law. But that's what we've got.
Who was your choice?
I would have taken. I liked Herman Cain. I liked Rick Santorum. I liked.
You just like pizza. That's
Bachman.
all you like.
I mean, I liked any of those folks. I mean, they all are infinitely better than Barack Obama. I mean, because you're either going to go socialist or freedom.
I said.
But,
I said
that's the
last
bottom
week.
line.
I said
Thanks,
there's not.
caller, thanks
I said
for your
last
call,
week
buddy.
there's not a lot of difference between the two.
Well, when you look at those two issues, sure, there's not a lot of difference. I mean, clearly the Massachusetts health care law was the brainchild for the Barack Obama health care law. Now, Romney says, no, it was a states' rights issue. We come up with it. It was good for our state. I don't agree with any of it. I think that was a dumb idea. But, you know, that's just me. You know, I got something for you.
The homeless guy needed health care, I tell you that.
Oh, he did.
He needed health care badly.
Well, you know, now, going back to this face-eating guy, there was something else in Maryland, though. There was another incident, and you know, I don't remember what it was, but it didn't have to do with the bath salts, I don't think.
No, it was this zombie thing that's been going around, it's happening all over apparently. And I was just looking through it because I was talking about it. It says a Maryland student who police admitted killing and eating parts of his own housemate was charged 5 days before the crime in a separate assault case. His name was Alexander Kinyua, and
he was Japanese.
No, he wasn't Japanese. I believe he was
Okay.
of dark persuasion, and he was 20.
Dark persuasion. I like it.
I don't know exactly. He was 21 years old, though.
The guy that ate the other guy.
Yeah, detectives later
I
found
read about it, man. They had-
discovered the head and hands of the homes in the home's main floor. He admitted to killing the missing person, and Mr. Cody. And
Why-
Mr.
why did
Cody
he
was
eat
his
him?
name.
Why did he eat him?
He said cutting him up with a knife. He said it further stated.
Did he cook it, or did he eat it raw?
He said he consumed Mr. Cody's internal organs, specifically his heart and portions of his brain.
Oh
man,
there's no help for that guy.
Man,
shoot him quick, man.
And there's another
knock
man
that guy down.
accused of eating his wife's lips in Sweden.
She must have had some of that. That
Sweet
chapstick.
lips.
You know that chapstick that's got like a good flavor, like
you know
cherry.
what the Mexicans say? Dulce labios. That's Mexican for sweet lips. Okay.
Oh man, I don't think that's what that's for.
That's
though.
what it is.
I don't know.
Yes, it is. And then you think you're a tough guy. I have to read you this.
All right.
Wayne Carter. Okay, this guy was in New Jersey. He was a 43-year-old man. He barricaded himself, and the police were, of course, trying to get him unbarricaded. He pulled out a knife and started stabbing himself in the stomach, legs, and neck. And then the police, I guess, were going after him or whatever. And he actually disemboweled himself with the knife and threw his intestines at the police
What, did he
officers.
run out of rocks? Why not
That's
throw
a
the
tough
knife
dude,
at him?
man. That's a tough dude.
Why not throw the knife at him?
If I
instead
see
of
a man take a knife and cut his stomach and throw his intestines out, I'm going, you win, dude. You
No,
win.
that's when
I'm
you
out.
shoot him in the head.
No, he'll die himself. He
He will
himself.
die, but man,
So this zombie thing's happening. I don't know if it was bath salts, but
we gotta research more about these bath salts to make sure we don't get a hold of any of these things.
No showers from me.
Yeah, I'm a shower from me from now on. Well, I got something sick, Rick. I know we got one more audio bit, and I'm gonna preface it first.
It's gonna be another Obama bash thing again.
Of course it will be. Actually, it's not him. It's just his.
Keep ringing that bell.
It's just his press secretary,
Ringing
Jay
that
Carney.
bell.
Listen now. So Jay Carney at the press secretary meeting, he was essentially asked how Romney's job at Bain Capital was any different from Obama picking winners and losers in the green industry and gambling with taxpayer money. The obvious answer is probably something like what the president did is worse. But that's not even close to what Carney posted, or his position, which was a complete surprise. Wait until you hear what he did say. This is Jay Carney's answer, and we're going to hear a little bit of the reporter asking the question. Go ahead, Sick Rick.
Last thing, if that's the argument, how is that different from the Romney's argument of Bain Capital, which is that many succeeded and a few failed?
Look, there is the difference in that your overall view of what your responsibilities are as president and what your view of the economic future is. And the president believes, as he's made clear, that a president's responsibility is not just to those who win, but those who, for an example, in a company where there have been layoffs or a company that's gone bankrupt, that we have to make sure that those folks have the means to find other employment.
He obviously had a bad day.
The ability to train for other kinds of work, and that's part of the overall responsibility that the president has.
Well, there you have it.
He had a bad day, man.
No
You
one knows what
pick
the hell
out
he
the worst.
said.
That was almost as bad as the other thing you had of Obama going.
But the one with Obama was just cuts of him throughout
Right.
the last couple of years. That was an actual response from the press secretary.
What he was
it didn't
trying
say
to,
anything.
What he was trying to say was the president's job is for everybody, not just for corporations, to downsize, liquidate, and Wall Street Journal it all the way down. So
that's what he was going to say.
That's what he was trying to say. The
Well, they
president
ought to hire you then, because the guy they got's a total moron.
Well, I'll speak
He's
up
as
here.
bad as that Gibbs guy.
Mr. President, please call me. I'm open for a job offer.
You would too.
I
know
would jump in a minute. You
Even to go
kidding me?
work for Obama, you
Even
would.
to do that, I may.
You
I said may.
It'd be Obama,
I
the
said
Black
may.
Panthers, and Smitty.
And Louis Farrakhan. You miss
Farrakhan.
Louis, man.
Well, we just had the newest job numbers come out, and surprise, surprise, we're back up to 8.2% unemployment.
And we talked about this yesterday. It's going to be that way for a long, long time, man. This is a global economy we're in. We're not going back to 3 and 4% unemployment. It's going to be.
You mean under Bush?
Under Bush.
4%?
No, Bush, 4%. You're talking about Clinton. You're talking about
4.2%
Clinton.
under Bush.
Yeah, well, he wrote Clinton's
Until
curtails.
the Senate
He wrote the curtails of Clinton.
until the
and you know
Democrats
he
took
did.
control of the Senate and the Congress, man.
You guys always take credit like you don't take any blame now when Obama's trying to pass all these things to get the economy going, and you shut it down. You just
Hey, I got
just keep
something
shutting it down.
I got something funny for you.
God, let's hear about it.
All right, so Teacher of the Year. All right, is a band teacher. at Colleyville Middle School, band director, won the whole it's like their version of the Golden Apple Award. Accused of sexting with a teen like 3 or 4 days after he was Teacher of the Year.
No wonder she got the Golden Apple.
It was a guy.
Oh, he got the Golden Apple. Sweet. Just recently, they had another thing with the kids all pitched in. It was a high school kid. He was 18 years old.
They were betting, right?
Bet who could
bet the teacher.
entice the teacher, and they all put in $100. And the one boy won
$500.
$500, and they had a picture of him
Smooching
on her on the deck and having a good time.
They didn't fire her. They reassigned her because he was of age, but it did violate all the school policies, of course. But she didn't. She didn't show 18. Up for a job, and the next day
they interviewed him, and he actually was a pretty cool guy about it. They were interviewing.
But he was because he's a celebrity. Well,
they're saying, "What about it?" He goes, "Hey, man, it's cool."
And he was a junior.
Lay off, man.
He was a junior, so next year he's going to come back as the king stud
I
senior.
Never got that opportunity in high school. Are you kidding?
Have you seen yourself?
Yeah. It's a sad
Hey, did
sight.
you know that
I got a face for radio.
Did you know that Barack Obama's barber is flown to the White House twice a month to cut his hair from Chicago?
It's special hair.
Yeah, he went from a small, a short cut. Now he's down to his little buzz cut.
What do you want? What do you want from the president? He's a president. Don't you want him to look good?
Have you seen his hair? All you got to do is
have
use
you
a
seen
set
your
of
hair?
clippers.
Look what you
just
look
need
like.
Clippers.
You look like you went through a fan.
It's like an airboat.
Floby. You got the Floby going, man.
Have you ever used a Floby?
Never.
That was a cool invention.
We
tried it on the cat one time. Cat didn't like that at all.
Nice. Tried on a German Shepherd.
Hey, so John Edwards found not guilty.
Of course, I told you that before. It was just another hunt trying to knock down the man. The man was thrown up there, and what happened? Nothing. They threw it out. It was acquitted, and they should have never wasted hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to bring up a guy because he had an affair with a woman.
It wasn't
Period.
about the affair. It was the fact that he used campaign money to hide the affair.
He didn't use the campaign money.
Well,
and I'll tell you why.
Found him not guilty.
The lady that gave him the $1.5 million, she specifically said on her donation, "This is a gift."
Wow.
To you, and she even paid gift taxes. She even paid the penalty because when you give somebody a gift, you have to give the gift taxes. She paid the gift taxes.
If they had all the information, why even take them to court if they've got all that? Or did that not come out till they already get into court?
It makes good locker room radio and TV. People get on there and drum it all up. And oh my gosh, he used money to have an affair with a woman. And I mean, come on, the guy's got millions of dollars. I don't think he needed to use that money.
So the federal appeals court ruled that the Defense of Marriage Act is unconstitutional.
I saw that.
What do you think about that?
I don't want to think about it. It's disturbing.
Well, I tell you what. You know what? Believe it or not, I'm actually okay with them doing that.
Really?
You know why? Because I don't think the federal government at a federal level should intervene in marriage.
I think
it should be a state. It should be states' rights.
I think state to state should do it, but personally, you and I have talked about it. Neither one of us support the gay marriage thing. I mean, I think it's a man and a woman, and I know we've discussed it, and will probably never go away. But it just doesn't seem – something's wrong about that. You ever look at something and you don't know what it is and you go, it just ain't right. I don't know where it's not right, but it's just something's wrong with that.
I was thinking about it, and I know we had a good caller on a couple weeks ago when we were talking about that.
JoJo?
Yeah, JoJo. And the fact of the matter was, he had a good point, but the thing is, it is a tradition. It is a tradition, and this country was founded on those principles, the Judeo-Christian principles. It may not be that marriage was started because of the Bible or this, that, and the other. But you know what? It's a tradition that America wants to maintain. But it looks like America's it's kind of going away. It's kind of fading, and that's a shame.
Well, I think they should all, if they get married, they're going to go for a lot of divorces like everybody else. So they should enjoy themselves. And
well,
not have to worry about the
let's
marriage.
wrap up on that because I know we're coming to a hard break here.
It's a quick hour here. Wish we had more time.
Yeah, everybody, we enjoyed it this week. We'll talk to everybody next week. We'll have another good guest on next week. I think we've got Byron Donalds next week.
Yeah, I think so. And just a shout out to my boy Travis at Guitar Center. I told him I'd give him a good plug. He's a good guy, guys. So shoot out there and listen to him.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great week.
Hey, it's Bubba the Love Sponge.